Greetings, salutations. I'm here with my review of The Monkey. This is the newest horror movie from writer-director Osgood Perkins, but this one is getting a lot of attention because it's coming on the heels of Perkins releasing Longlegs last year, which was such a breakout sensation, so of course there's a lot of interest in his follow-up. And his follow-up is, I think, a really audacious and notable swerve, because yes, it's another horror movie, but it is a very different kind of horror movie than Longlegs was. This is an adaptation of a Stephen King short story focusing on two brothers, both played by Theo James as an adult and Christian Convery when they are kids. And when they are kids, they come across this toy monkey. This monkey with a little set of drums that if you turn it on, if you have him play those drums, someone is going to die. And they're going to die in a pretty spectacular and awful manner. And so as kids, they encounter this monkey and they realize what it's doing and what it causes, and they do all they can to get rid of it. And then as adults, it comes back because it turns out you just can't get rid of the monkey. So it is back, and it is once more causing mayhem, causing death. And these two brothers who haven't seen each other in a long time, it's going to reunite them whether they like it or not. I loved Longlegs, and it had such a specific vibe to it, such a specific feel. I did feel that it was strange that some people kind of really hyped it up as unrelentingly terrifying, when I thought that it is creepy as hell, but I did think there was a sense of humor to it. Not that it was a comedy, but that there are scenes in the movie that are meant to be funny and are in their own sort of dark way, and that there's other things going on besides the fact that, yes, it is trying to creep you out, but that there were other tones here. But, with the monkey, this is a flat-out horror comedy, and it's a pretty heightened one at that. It lets you know that from the beginning with a great prologue scene featuring a guest cameo from an actor that we mostly think of as one who does comedic roles, and it's a great way to sort of set the table for the movie, because you see this actor and it makes you chuckle, and then once you see what's happening in this scene and how it's happening, you are getting a great underlining of, okay, this is the vibe we're going for. We are having fun here in a very twisted manner. People are going to bring up Final Destination. It is very understandable they will, because it is sort of the go-to example in recent memory of a series where people die deaths that are, accidents. They look like accidents, but we know that there's something else at work. So spectacular things happen to cause people's deaths. But, that predates Final Destination. In fact, the Omen movies, when I rewatched all of them before the first Omen came out, it was a reminder that in some ways was kind of the first big franchise to do that kind of death. The Monkey, of course, is based on a story from 1980. This is really going way more into the dark comedy of it all than that short story. But the idea was already there of, the accidental death that's not an accidental death. And while, yes, it's fun that this is coming out the same year as a Final Destination movie, I feel that there is plenty of room for more than one movie in which people die in crazy ways, thanks to, something else pulling the strings. And the deaths here are great. They go for it. Perkins goes for it. The way that people die is very, very darkly funny. There is so much blood in this movie. There are so many ways that people, bad things happen to their body. They are torn apart. They are blowing up. Just a lot of blood is spewed in this movie in a almost cartoonish manner. And you've got Theo James as this character that he's kind of been dealing with this for so long that he is kind of just keeps a straight face about it all. And I really like Theo James here. It's interesting casting because it's unlikely casting. He just sort of has this very handsome, chiseled look. He's this really built guy, and you see him in something like The White Lotus that definitely accentuates that. So he's not the first person you'd think of to play twins who have both grown up to be very offbeat and weird and sort of antisocial because of what happened to them. But look, if a messed up monkey came into your life and started killing everyone, it doesn't matter how handsome you grow up to be, it could still make you a pretty weird guy. And I think just everything about Theo James's performance as both these characters and the narration he provides has Hal kind of describing this all, not nonchalantly, but just sort of like something that he's just had to deal with for so long, is really well done and helps draw you into the film. Perkins has talked about sort of the personal influence in this movie of his own life and the way he's lost loved ones, and sometimes the really messed up way he's lost loved ones, and sort of funneling that into this dark, satirical sort of look at the world. And I really appreciate that, because, yeah, death isn't funny in the real world, but it's also sort of this bizarre thing that we all have to deal with. And for someone like Hal and his brother, it's something that they've had to deal with a lot. And they kind of know it's going to be messed up every time, and how the solutions that they've both come to about what to do about the monkey are very, very different, which makes sense because they've processed what happened to them as kids in very different ways. I think the whole cast is really good. Christian Convery in those flashbacks, sort of establishing the template for these brothers. And when we first meet them, understanding that this is what they were like until the monkey sort of changed everything. Tatiana Maslany, love her in everything. She's just in a few scenes, but she gets to do so much in those few scenes, including delivering, I don't know if a monologue is right, but certainly a statement that kind of gives you the philosophy of her character, and maybe in some regards the movie itself, that is extremely funny and well delivered. And this is a movie where even the smallest roles, I think, are extremely well cast. And that goes for everyone from Maslany to this pastor who appears briefly in the film, played by Nico Del Rio, who is sort of this very young, almost sort of bro. And it's a scene that's definitely letting you know pretty early on in the film, this is a pretty cartoonish reality we're dealing with here. Like, why is this dude this pastor? But I think it's a great scene as far as letting you know that about the reality of the film, and then letting an actor come in and just have so much fun in this brief little appearance. And I was so happy to see Rohan Campbell in this movie. Have no images to show you of him because they haven't released any yet, but Rohan Campbell has a Halloween Ends defender. That's right, I will defend Halloween Ends and Corey Cunningham. I really like seeing him in this movie and his character and how he kind of interacts with the story, and he's sort of a side story that starts to collide with the brothers as we go on. He's wearing a very silly wig, not the most realistic wig in the world, but I felt like that was feeling right tonally with what the movie is doing, with everything about the winking nature of the movie. We are in an interesting beginning of the year because we're getting a lot of horror comedies. Companion is out now. We've got Heart Eyes about to release, and I thought those were both great, and I think The Monkey is great. Horror and comedy, I love when they work together. It's just they don't always work together. Some people don't get that mixture right, and so far this year it feels like people are definitely knowing how to make that mixture work. And so I say, keep it coming. Another important character in the movie is Colin O'Brien as Petey, Hal's son. Hal is definitely a deadbeat dad when we meet him, basically because his life is so screwed up. He feels like he needs to keep everyone at arm's length, but he is spending some time with his estranged son in this movie. Of course, that is bad timing because the monkey is back. There is some great material here with the father and son who barely know each other and how they're bouncing off each other. One criticism I'd have of the movie is where that goes ultimately with the characters. It feels like we kind of skip a couple of beats with those characters and where they end up. I wish that there was a scene or two more to sort of explain some things emotionally and where they lead by the conclusion of the film. But overall, man, I had a blast with this one. Like Longlegs, I saw it in an early Beyond Fest screening, and like that movie, it sort of really showed how well it could play. But this one almost even more because it is so sort of letting you know so early on, hey, we are going big, we are going over the top. You are going to see people explode and be chopped apart and blood splattering left and right in this movie. And yeah, the audience I saw it with was having such a great time, myself included. You just feel like, Perkins, but everyone involved, they understand how to modulate this to sort of make it all work and have the insanity of the toy monkey that just won't leave you the hell alone be such a funny and ultimately satisfying story to tell. James Wan, also, I should mention, is a producer here. James Wan, man, what is that guy's deal? I mean, he's a very talented filmmaker, but if you look at the movies that he's either written, directed, or produced, you go to Billy the Puppet in Saw, you go to Dead Silence, Megan, of course, Annabelle. Can't forget about Annabelle. And now the monkey in the monkey. He has got a big fixation on sort of toys, dolls, puppets that are causing bad things to happen. I don't know the rights issues involved. These are a lot of different studios, but one day it still would be amazing if we could see the James Wan toy puppet doll horror universe crossover where they all have to fight in some sort of battle royale. Probably not going to happen, but I'd be for it. I think he would be too, because he definitely is very into that realm. But yeah, the monkey is just a really good time, and as long as you're okay with copious amounts of gore, I think you can have a really fun time at the movies with this one. Know that you're going to get some pretty big laughs along the way, watching some pretty demented things occur. So those are my thoughts on the monkey. If you can like and subscribe, that'd be great. Thanks, guys. I'll be back with more.